I got trapped in my business where when I first started to talk about investment and I started to go out and talk to people, the first thing they said to me is you've made the classic mistake of being trapped in your business. And when they said that to me, I was like, yeah, I know, because
I'm on 100 moves. I'm on 100. I must cover my body. 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 Chanel, 2 for 2. My bitch got on Jimmy Choo's. Run up these numbers like we back school. I'm on 100k move. Just pulled up with a crew. Front outside go zoom. No lacking or you make the news. Chanel, 2 for 2.
Them times you were already a manager,
yeah,
I think, right?
yeah,
And you was grumpy, harsh,
it does it to you.
and time goes by, the years go by, and then you quit. And you're just gone. Life continues, right? And then one time you come back to visit, and your face is different. There's a smile that covered your whole face from ear to ear.
Yeah.
You could even see it from the back.
Everyone said that.
Your body language was different. You're friendly now. And there was just this change, and the change was you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know that about yourself?
I know now how doing something that you don't love, how it can destroy you, how it can just take the life out of you, especially if you're creative and you're not being creative. You know, I'm a musician. It's like, you know, as a songwriter, I've worked, and songwriter, producer, sound engineer, I've worked with some of the biggest artists in the world, and to not be involved in doing that, it's a soul destroyer. You know, if you're creative, you've got to create. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how you know, I've got a piano at home and I didn't play it for 2 years. I just didn't play it, and you know, I was in therapy for probably while I was teaching, and the therapist she just said to me, you have to do what you love, and you're not doing it, and that's why you're here.
Oh, wow.
It was, you know, it was that simple. So yeah, I do, and even now with what we do now, I'm slowly getting back into that kind of mode of just working and not creating, and I know come 2023 that's not going to happen. I need to create. I need to be creative. So no, and being here and being around creatives again, it's like, my God, where have you been? It's like, oh, you've been here. It's like literally around the corner, but I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's that simple, literally around the corner. I was Googling. I thought it was going to be in North, because I saw N1. I thought North London. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to drive, find parking, and it was like, no. Map said 6 minutes. I'm like, no, that can't be right. What? And it was literally around the corner. I just look at that. You know, everyone's on their own doorstep, but everyone's so engaged and just trapped in what they're doing that they forget. You know, you can't see the wood for the trees. But that's that is what running a business is about.
Very true.
Don't get trapped in there.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's a trap. So we have Boyowa here, formerly musician, then in education management, like a grape and what's a raisin?
Raisin.
Yeah, and now we're back to being a grape again.
Yeah.
Business owner, founder and director of Stennah and Hope.
That's Displaced. We'll move on and I'll tell you about what that is.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. In a second,
they're all connected.
Award-winning bespoke candle and toiletry manufacturer. From a raisin to award-winning, mad. High-end candles, diffusers, toiletries for bespoke and niche brands in the UK since 2013. Yeah, talk about that.
We're going into our 10th year.
Yeah, flip, yes. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Going into our 10th year, so 2023 will be 10 years.
Wow.
And we don't have the time to talk about the 10 years, but it's been it has been a trip and a roller coaster. You know, running a business, especially when you just run a business from, you know, just from the outset, not even thinking about it. You know, you're good at doing something and you just run into, you know, so I've just been learning for the last 10 years, making mistakes, getting back up, making mistakes, getting back up, making mistakes. And the mistakes get longer, you know, they get, each time you make a mistake, it gets longer and longer between the mistakes you made. So if that is happening, then you know that you are growing, but you are going to make mistakes nonetheless. But moving on to what you have here, Displaced. So Displaced Fragrances was born out of my love of fragrances, music, and education, and manufacturing, because I was kind of a bit sick and tired of people thinking everything is made in the Far East, and it's not. And I was a bit sick and tired of young people kind of being displaced and not being able to find their own way, and always going into the same thing of like, oh, well, I want to do music, I want to make beats, and it's like, no, there's a bit more to that. So we bring them into our manufacturing process and help them understand how things are made and where things are made. You know, it just started off in 1s and 2s, and then we reached out to like colleges and schools, and it's become a labor of love now, because when they've made something and they've poured it and they've labeled it and they've packaged it, and then they go and see it in, you know, a store, it's Selfridges or Liberties or whatever, they're just like, wow, I made that. I was part of that process.
That is a crazy journey.
And when they start to see that and believe that, it's only at that point that they realize, you know what, I can do what I really want to do. And, you know, we've had one of the girls wants to go to university and do like graphic design. She would never have even began to think about that unless she was in an environment where you're designing stuff. You're seeing different brands come in every day or every week, and they're all different, but they're all candles, or they're all diffusers. They're all, you know, so you can make up what you want and in a package, how you want it. But what we've tried to do here is combine fragrances, music, you know, home fragrances, all together in one. So all of the
sensory. Ears,
smell. We change the fragrances every season. So what you've got now, we've got autumn and winter, and then spring and summer will, you know, obviously be in spring and summer, but they all have their own playlist. So on the box you can just scan the QR code, it will take you to the playlist for that particular fragrance.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, innovation.
And then we all, you know, we base the fragrances on genres of music. So you'll see, you know, retro soul pine, and it will tell you the description of what is retro soul. Scan the QR code, take you to the playlist. It will tell you what the candle is made out of, what's in it. It will tell you the fragrances, and it's music. It's music for candle lovers.
It's an experience.
100%. But we don't just make candles. We do scented coffee. We do scent sticks. But what it isn't, as it says on here, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
This is not another fucking candle brand. It's not about candles. This brand is about. It's more about giving opportunities to young people, to displaced young people that are finding it hard to integrate within society. And that's even more so now, because the well-being of young people through COVID, what we're about to go through over the next year, 2 years, is overwhelming. Like literally overwhelming. The statistics are going through the roof. So for us, it's just, you know, it's trying to provide a safe haven where people can come in and work.
So you actually never left the education sector?
No, I love education. I just didn't like education in the way that I was, you know, teaching it. I mean, that killed it. The environment that I was in killed it. It killed it for me. It just killed it for me. that is not the way that you teach people.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know, we all know that.
Yeah.
That's why we're left. That's why we're not there.
Yeah. Wow, he said stuttering. With all these conversations I've been having, I think there's not passion, there's purpose. And that's what is the fuel through the hard times.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing about owning a business?
Cash flow.
Cash flow. Oh yeah.
Cash flow in times of a recession. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of friends that own businesses, and it's either one of two things they're doing. They're either pulling back, scaling back, so that they can go through the next 12 months to 18 months, not closing down, pulling back, scaling back, or kind of pivoting. Because, you know, we're all creatives, and this is where being a creative really helps when you're running a business.
Talk to them.
Yeah, this is where it really helps, because I didn't go to business school. I didn't, I don't have an MBA. It's like, no, I don't have any of that. But what I do have is the way to think my way out of things. I have resilience. I know how far I can push myself. You know, I can push myself right to the edge.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that too often. It's like I've probably got maybe a couple of really going to the edges.
Yeah.
But resilience is really important in running a business. It really is, because you don't want to give up, because if you give up, you'll regret it. And more than likely you won't do another business, because why would you? What you've given up, and then you're going to do it again.
It's hurtful.
Yeah, there's no point. There's no point. So what you need to do is you've got to find a way. You've got to find a way through. You've got to, you've got to find a way out of it and endure it, because, I'm always using, just cliches of like the storm never lasts forever, or the sun will and it's true, because you have to have that belief, because if you don't, you're not going to survive. You will crash and burn, and it will be, some people don't get back up.
And this is also something that we've been talking everyone has mentioned, that belief that there's something higher than your ego. It's not self-belief, because you're doing it for the future generations. So it's not about self, is you, right? So and that's like, again, fuel, and bigger picture thinking, and therefore becoming adaptive, and resilience is born through pain and agony, right? Was there a time you wanted to quit? How did you deal with it? How did you overcome?
There's many a times that I've wanted to quit, and this is where I always tell everyone that you have to find your way through. So for me, when I'm in that state, like now, and it's really tough now. I just make life really simple. I draw things back. I don't go out very much. I keep things very simple. I would do a lot of meditation. I will listen to, whether it's music or talks, but things, inspiring things. Don't listen to the news. Take out news. 100% take that out, because come off social media. We're on social media, but I'm personally not on social media. And any WhatsApp groups that I'm on, where people are sending me stuff about the economy or this or anything negative, I either come off it or I just tell them to stop.
But isn't that important for business planning?
No, because you can't. Listening to the news and telling you how the economy is going to tank. That's not. You'll just give up. I would, I would give up, because, the other day, I read, somebody sent me something, how that the UK out of the G7
Yeah.
is the only one to go into a deep recession.
Oh, is it?
And why is that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you need to go and ask Boris and his merry men why that is. You know, we took ourselves out of out of the biggest economy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so we could. We got to remember that we are an island.
Yeah.
We're separate.
Yeah.
Okay, so Europe is all connected. So it's easy for them to move. You know, their supply chain.
Yeah.
You know, for what we do, our supply chain has just been devastated.
Yeah.
It's been devastated.
Yeah.
We're an island, so we haven't made anything for years.
Yeah.
We import so much.
Yeah.
So that's had a massive effect on my business, and if it's affected my business, then the chain goes on and on and on.
Yeah. And it's very scary. Speaking of which, advice when it comes to business financials, like you're now everyone's now in a financial crisis. Any advice? How do you, like, with business financials for our young bucks, for the ones thinking of starting out?
If I was starting again, and I'd go back 10 years, and prior to that, I had my own brand. So, you know, Stennah and Hope was not born out of it was born out of me having my own brand first.
Yeah.
But with my own brand, I set up with two friends and we had investment.
Yeah.
So I wasn't bootstrapping, but I was bootstrapping, and I've been bootstrapping Stennah and Hope for 10 years. It's only now that we've actually said, we need to go and get some investment. Only now, like 10 years later. And even when I'm having those conversations with investors, they're like, it's 10 years, mate.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know. But you would rather invest in a business behind 10 years than one? No, I actually said to them, which would you prefer to invest in? So a business that's been going for 10 years or a business that's been going for 1 year?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is simple, but if I could rewind the tape, I would make sure that I would have startup money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have money to start it up.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't do it on your own. You can't do it without investment. There's no way of you growing or scaling without investment. You can't do it on sales alone.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
It just, you can only do that for so long. And then not only that, when I say entrepreneurs, I'm not an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur is, if we're talking about, the hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy, the entrepreneur is at the top. Okay. So I'm probably, manager, employer. You would have self-employed, manager, and you go up in stages. But an entrepreneur is the person or the business that has bought businesses or sold businesses.
Oh, really?
You become an entrepreneur you don't just wake up tomorrow and I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No, you're not. An entrepreneur is somebody that you've sold businesses, you've bought businesses, you've done all of that being self-employed, you've done all that being employed, you've done all that being a manager, employer.
You've done everything in the pyramid.
Yeah, you've done all this. You have to do all the stages.
Yeah.
But what I found was I got trapped in my business where when I first started to talk about investment and I started to go out and talk to people, the first thing they said to me is you've made the classic mistake of being trapped in your business. And when they said that to me, I was like, yeah, I know, because up until then, the business could not run without me. I had to be there.
Okay.
I had to be there.
Yeah.
If I went away on holiday, I would either have to shut it down or the people would be there, employees would be there working, but I would still be getting emails. I'd still be getting calls.
Yeah.
That's not a holiday, because I'm still worrying. I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
That's not, that's not a self-managing business.
Yeah.
So you have to build a self-managing business. The only way that you can do that is by investing in people so that they can do that. You know, everyone's doing their jobs. Everyone's got their, you know, they've got their spaces.
Your business acumen and your business savvy, and you said you didn't come from, you didn't study these things. Where does that come from? Because you're talking facts.
10 years, mate.
Experience.
Yeah, experience. Like I said, it's falling down, getting back up, falling down, getting back up. Just, you know, just making you never learn from doing well. You know, all that doing well does is make you arrogant and just full of it. And I've been there. It's like I've been where I'm just working with some of the biggest brands and I just think, yeah, everything's great, man, everything's cool. And you just think it's gonna keep on going.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. Okay. And then, but by the time you've got there, it's too late.
Yeah.
Because you needed to, you needed to, when things are going great, that's when you need to be worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
It's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
You know, right now I'm going through our business is going through a cycle. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're going through that cycle.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean, you have to endure, you have to have resilience because it will come to an end. Don't worry about it. It will come to an end, but you don't know when.
Yeah.
But you've got to understand that when things are going well, that's when you need to say, okay, we either need to pivot so that when it does have a downturn, are we resilient? Are we prepared for it?
Yeah.
You know, or are we just chasing when it gets there? Are we chasing our tail? You know,
and so what you're saying is it's not emotional.
No.
It's patterns.
Yeah.
It's numbers.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Yeah.
It's curves.
Yeah. Everything's curves. The economy is a curve. It's like right now we're down here.
How do you separate the two?
Just knowing that we'll come out of it. You know, the last time when I launched my own brand with two of my friends, we launched it in 2009, but we started in 2008. Mm-hmm. What happened in 2008?
Crash. Yeah.
Exactly. A recession.
Worst time.
Crash.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that just the whole bottom of the world economy just tanked.
Yeah.
But we came out of it, and you know, it was
wow. Wow.
And now we're in this one, and this one feels different because we've just the UK has just isolated ourselves. You know, it's almost like they've just shot themselves in the foot for no apparent reason other than ego.
Yeah. I mean, 2008 didn't mean nothing to me.
No.
I was too young, not in business and that kind of stuff. This situation right now is very scary. So what you're saying is very inspirational to me and to a lot of people listening as well, because you've been through that pattern and you have your proof that it's just a pattern and it comes out of it. Yeah. And he was also saying something interesting about roller coaster ride. It is a roller coaster ride.
100%.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
I know some people like roller coasters. I don't. I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
But that's running a business. Yeah. Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Yeah.
It goes up slowly. It comes down
fast. Fast.
Mad, exactly. Yeah. And maybe the last thing, like, so we started off explaining who you were, and then when you released yourself, who you became. But isn't it harder your life right now? Tougher, bigger losses, bigger responsibilities, failed opportunities, things you're not in control of. Isn't it not scarier?
Someone asked me that the other day. You know, he's employed and he knows when he's going to get paid. Yeah. He knows
when he's sick that he's going to get paid.
Yeah, so he knows how much comes in, how much comes out, and you know, and that's and I've spoken to a lot of people that are, you know, are going through a recession. They're still moaning, and I'm like, mate, don't moan. You know, you should be grateful that you've got a job. Try running a business in this climate. Yeah. Seriously, try running a business in this climate. And then I went through it. I went through everything with him that we go through, and he was like, shit. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, mate, it's every day. Yeah. But we get up every day and we're just continually moving forward because you have to. Because if you don't, then it stops, and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's, you know, in a heartbeat, as you say, it's slowly to come up, but it can come down like a lead balloon.
And so in these times that we are and that we're going into, and our youth are going to have it even more difficult. In these times, do you say to them, be stable, be secure, go to something that works, or follow your purpose? Which one?
I mean, for me, I'm always going to say follow your purpose, because it's only we're just in a cycle. It's another cycle, to be fair. But I'm always going to go for being, because I was in the music industry for like at least 25 years, and then I went into employment, and I don't think I've never been more unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, you get your wage and you get, but that's the problem. Yeah. That is a problem, because you get so used to that.
Yeah.
Being employed is actually a trap.
Yeah.
You get used to that, and it's almost like you never get out of it. You can't get out of it. Once you're in, you can't get out of it. You know, and I was in there, and I didn't hate not getting paid, obviously, but I hated the fact of I just was not in control. It just felt like I was not. This was not me. Yeah. You know, it just wasn't me. It's like, no. Would I choose to be hard and tough and stuff? Yeah. Definitely not. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, so I think that's a great message. It's just a cycle.
Yeah.
It's going to turn around, but who you are is not going to change.
No.
The external circumstances are going to change.
Makes you stronger.
It's going to, so, man, do you.
Do you. All the time.
Do you all the time. And in the bad times, doing you is better than in the good times doing it for someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
Inspiring stuff, man. Boyowa. Before we end this all, we're gonna plug all of your stuff and
definitely
all of your socials as well.
Yeah.
You already talked about it, but yeah, guys, your wifey, your girlfriend, your side chick, they all need this stuff. Your man needs music and candles, because it's been a very stressful year for him. So get to clicking, get to buying, get to these it's interactive, and it's not a gimmick. Do you know what I mean? It's like the actual product itself is organic. Yeah.
So,
and if you don't buy this for your partner, do you really love them? Wicked, man.
Nice, bro.
Hey, you're the man. This is very good. I need to hear this.